The conflict between Elon Musk and Sam Altman over OpenAI is one of the most compelling stories in modern technology because it combines personal rivalry, philosophical disagreement, and legal precedent in a way that could reshape the future of artificial intelligence. To understand the lawsuit Musk has filed against Altman and OpenAI, we need to trace the history of their relationship, the evolution of OpenAI, and the broader context of the AI industry. Only then can we assess whether Musk is likely to prevail in court and what the implications of the case might be. OpenAI was founded in late 2015 by Musk, Altman, Greg Brockman, Ilya Sutskever, and others. Its mission was clear: ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits humanity as a whole rather than being monopolized by a handful of corporations or governments. Musk contributed tens of millions of dollars and lent his reputation to attract talent. Altman, then president of Y Combinator, became the public face of the organization. From the beginning, however, tensions simmered. Musk viewed AI as potentially the most dangerous technology ever created, and he wanted OpenAI to act as a counterweight to companies like Google. Altman, while acknowledging risks, was more optimistic about AI's potential and more pragmatic about the need for resources. By 2018, Musk had left the board, citing conflicts of interest with Tesla's AI work and disagreements about OpenAI's direction. In 2019, OpenAI announced a major structural change: the creation of a capped profit subsidiary, OpenAI LP, designed to raise investment while limiting returns. This was justified as necessary to compete with the massive budgets of Google and Microsoft. Musk opposed the move, arguing it betrayed the nonprofit mission. Over the next several years, OpenAI deepened its partnership with Microsoft, which invested billions and integrated OpenAI's models into its products. By 2025, OpenAI had converted fully into a public benefit corporation, with Altman and Brockman holding significant equity stakes. Musk saw this as a complete abandonment of the original vision. In early 2026, Musk filed a lawsuit against Altman, Brockman, and OpenAI, alleging breach of charitable trust and unjust enrichment. He claimed OpenAI had been founded as a nonprofit dedicated to humanity, and that its leaders had improperly converted it into a for-profit enterprise for their own gain. He sought damages in the range of $130 to $180 billion, not for himself, but to be redirected to OpenAI's charitable arm. Musk's legal team argued that donors like him had been misled and that the public had been deprived of the benefits promised by OpenAI's mission. Altman and OpenAI's defense has been multifaceted. They argue Musk himself consented to the idea of a for-profit structure as early as 2017, recognizing that massive capital would be required to pursue artificial general intelligence. They emphasize that Musk's contributions were donations, not investments, and that he received tax deductions accordingly. They also suggest Musk's lawsuit is motivated by rivalry, since he now runs his own AI company, xAI, which competes directly with OpenAI. Altman has portrayed Musk as a disruptive figure who left OpenAI years ago and now seeks to undermine it. The trial has featured dramatic testimony. Mira Murati, former CTO and interim CEO of OpenAI, criticized Altman's management style, describing him as dishonest and chaotic. Greg Brockman disclosed that his stake in OpenAI was worth nearly $30 billion, raising questions about conflicts of interest. Shivan Zelis, an executive at Neuralink and Musk's partner, testified about Altman's mistrust among executives and her role as a source of information for Musk. These testimonies painted a picture of internal dysfunction at OpenAI, but they did not necessarily establish the legal case Musk needs to win. Public perception has been mixed. Prediction markets initially gave Musk a 60% chance of victory, but after his own testimony, confidence dropped to around 34%, later recovering slightly to 40%. Jury selection revealed that many prospective jurors held negative views of Musk personally, which could influence the outcome. Musk's polarizing reputation is both an asset and a liability. He commands attention and has a loyal following, but he also alienates many people. The philosophical clash between Musk and Altman is central to the dispute. Musk has long warned that AI could pose an existential threat to humanity if not carefully controlled. He has compared AI to summoning the demon, and his vision for OpenAI was rooted in transparency, openness, and nonprofit governance as safeguards against runaway corporate or governmental control. Musk's worldview is shaped by skepticism of concentrated power and a belief that technology must be democratized to prevent catastrophic misuse. Altman, by contrast, emphasizes AI's potential to solve humanity's greatest challenges, from disease to climate change. For him, the priority has been ensuring OpenAI has the resources to compete with giants like Google and Microsoft, which requires billions in investment. He believes building artificial general intelligence is not possible within the constraints of a traditional nonprofit, and that a hybrid or for-profit structure is necessary to attract talent and capital. Altman's philosophy is rooted in a belief that progress requires scale, and that risks can be managed through governance and alignment research rather than by limiting corporate involvement. This clash reflects a broader debate in the technology community. Musk represents the cautionary camp, emphasizing existential risk and the need for strict safeguards. Altman represents the accelerationist camp, emphasizing opportunity and the need to move forward despite risks. Their disagreement is not just about OpenAI's structure, but about the fundamental question of how humanity should approach artificial general intelligence. Should we slow down and prioritize safety above all else, or should we push forward and trust governance mechanisms to be sufficient? The lawsuit is, in many ways, a proxy battle for this philosophical divide. The legal precedent surrounding Musk's case is equally important. At issue is whether a nonprofit can convert into a for-profit entity without violating obligations to donors and the public. In U.S. law, nonprofits are governed by charitable trust principles, which require them to use assets for the purposes stated in their charter. If a nonprofit abandons its mission or diverts assets to private benefit, it can be challenged in court. However, nonprofits also have flexibility to restructure if boards determine that doing so is necessary to achieve their mission. Courts have historically been reluctant to second-guess these decisions unless there is clear evidence of fraud or self-dealing. There are precedents in which nonprofits have been scrutinized for converting into for-profits or creating for-profit subsidiaries. In some cases, courts upheld the conversions, recognizing that changing circumstances required new structures. In other cases, courts intervened to prevent misuse of charitable assets. Musk's case hinges on whether OpenAI's conversion can be seen as legitimate adaptation or unlawful betrayal. If the court finds that OpenAI's leaders enrich themselves at the expense of the public, it could set a precedent that nonprofits cannot simply morph into for-profits without accountability. If the court sides with OpenAI, it will reinforce the idea that nonprofits have wide latitude to restructure in pursuit of their goals. The stakes are enormous. A ruling in Musk's favor could reshape nonprofit governance, making it harder for organizations to pivot toward for-profit models. It could force OpenAI to redirect billions to charitable purposes, fundamentally altering its trajectory. A ruling in Altman's favor would validate OpenAI's path and encourage other nonprofits to consider hybrid structures. Either way, the case will be studied by lawyers, philanthropists, and technologists for years to come. When we combine the philosophical clash with the legal precedent, the picture becomes clearer. Musk is arguing not just that OpenAI betrayed him personally, but that it betrayed humanity by abandoning its nonprofit mission. Altman is arguing that the mission can only be achieved with massive investment, and that the nonprofit structure was insufficient. The court must decide whether OpenAI's transformation was a legitimate evolution or an unlawful betrayal. My assessment remains that Musk is unlikely to win outright because the legal precedent favors organizational flexibility and because his donations were treated as charitable gifts rather than investments. However, the trial may still lead to reforms, settlements, or new precedents that shape the future of nonprofit governance in technology. Ultimately, the Musk-Altman conflict is a microcosm of the broader debate about how humanity should approach artificial intelligence. Musk's caution and Altman's pragmatism represent two poles of a spectrum, and the outcome of the lawsuit will influence not only OpenAI but the entire AI ecosystem. Whether Musk wins or loses, his challenge has forced the world to confront difficult questions about trust, governance, and the role of profit in shaping technologies that could define the future of civilization. My prediction is that Musk will not win his case outright, but he will leave a lasting impact on the debate about AI, nonprofits, and corporate power. And that wraps up today's deep dive from the Situation Room. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below with your thoughts. Don't forget to follow us for more global analysis and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next Situation Room update. See you in the next one.